6-part story for children written last year by myself for a vacation Bible school and children's church or children's camp setting. I think your children will enjoy this. I've had little children tell me I should publish this, but I thought I would read it and put it on YouTube to see what kind of response I would get from children virtually everywhere, I hope. Anyway, so far our little boy named Christian visited Life Force Planet, he visited Temptorite Planet, and Planet Regredium. And again, you can see different lessons this little boy has learned along the way. Let's continue on with our story, The Journey to Glacier Planet. It was rather comforting for Christian because he knew he was halfway now to his intended destination, planet Paradisia. He had come many miles from Earth and had seen many strange and wonderful things so far in his journeys, and he knew that when he reached Paradisia, the Lord of Space, who was known as Alpha Omega, would help him find his way back home. He began to wonder why the Lord of Space was known as Alpha Omega when an alarm began to shriek out on his dashboard. Whoop, 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 whoop. And he looked down at his gauge board, and the incoming detection radar was blaring away with incoming, incoming, incoming. And he looked at his astro radar that scans the distance in front of him, and he saw a sight that sent shivers down his spine. Space Cowboy was traveling a fantastic 12,000 miles per hour, and he was heading directly toward the Agony Asteroid Belt, or the AAB as it was known. An asteroid is a large moving rock which could be as small as a car or even small as a pebble, I imagine, but as large as a mountain. A belt of asteroids is a pathway through the galaxy where thousands of asteroids circle about at one time, all together. The pathway is so long that it might take years for all the asteroids to go along the belt once. Christian had read one time about the Agony Asteroid Belt and did not like the idea of traveling through the Beltway to get to Glacier Planet. However, there was no way around the belt unless he wanted to travel for weeks in another direction and then circle back around. Well, Christian did something he never thought he would have to do. He activated the Eagle's onboard laser cannon blasters and readied himself for another space fight. His incoming radar detector revealed to him that several very large asteroids were heading directly toward him at one time. Our intrepid space cowboy took aim with his cannons and quickly knocked 3 of the asteroids out of the way. Next, Christian maneuvered around one and took aim again and blasted 4 of the traveling bus-sized rocks into small pebbles. And Christian thought he was keeping up pretty well until a small asteroid smacked the rear of the Eagle transporter. Then a larger one tore into the heat-sensitive panels on the nose of the rocket, of the Eagle. The space cowboy aimed pretty carefully, but the larger asteroids were bearing down on him, and he was not sure if he could handle every one. He just did what he could, but in a moment he saw a familiar white laser flash that shot at the evil Natos a few planets back. The white ship blasted several asteroids into dust as Christian also continued to fire his onboard cannons, and finally he was out of the asteroid belt. He looked around about him, and the white ship was nowhere to be seen. Well, up ahead, Christian saw his next stop. Ahead of him lied the beautiful, shining Glacier Planet. Now, do you know how frost glistens on a sunshine day, like in a cold January morning? The frost reflects the light coming from the sun, and reflects it out in multicolors like a light shines through a prism. This is what Christian saw when he saw the Glacier Planet. Various beautiful colors of reds and blues and yellows and greens sparkling from the planet and almost seemed to invite a weary space traveler to take rest on her surface. Now, Christian even thought that maybe his visit to Glacier Planet could be a delightful change and not like going to Temptorite or Regredium. The onboard landing thruster slowed down the Eagle. She straightened into landing position, and steadily she descended onto the surface of Glacier Planet. As Christian exited the spaceship, he first noticed the frigid cold air. Glacier Planet is named after ice glaciers for a big reason. The entire planet is almost like one large round ball of ice, almost like a round ice cube. Christian scanned the surface for miles from an icy hilltop and saw some beautiful but cold sights. For mile after mile, there were only glaciers and icebergs lying at the top of the planet. The surface had to have had sub-zero temperatures, and as far as a person could see with their eyes or telescopes, there was nothing but ice fields, glacier masses, and ice caps. Christian was tremendously glad that his spaceship had he was very glad that his space suit had an automatic heating system that kept his body warm enough to endure the awful coldness of the planet. Sure, Glacier Planet possessed some beautiful, wondrous things with all that ice that glistened like diamonds, but a place like this would never make a home for anyone. Where would you grow your food unless you always liked icicles or ice cream? It would be impossible to enjoy playing outside unless you liked to ice skate. And then, how would a person stay warm on a planet without firewood or oil for furnaces? And how would a person build a house unless you lived like an Eskimo and built an igloo? No, Christian loved the beauty of ice, but Glacier Planet was not for him. And as he thought about these things, he saw movement along an icy hill up ahead. Well, what in the world, thought Christian, I better check this out. Christian walked in the snow and ice, and the sound of his feet made a crunchy noise as he stepped on ice crystals. He saw a strange icy creature trying to run ahead of him, but he caught up with a cold inhabitant and asked him, "Who or what are you?" And the little dwarf-sized creature shivered with nervousness and told him, "I am the iceberg hermit, and I have lived here many, many moons, many, many years." Well, this poor little creature was made purely of ice and snow, but could run and talk, and his arms were like icicles, and his legs were like legs of a snowman. Not sure what else to ask him, Christian continued. Why are you here, and how did you get here? I was a space traveler to Paradisia, said the little man, when I grew cold in my heart. And Alpha Omega put me here, where he said I would feel most like home. This stunned Christian, as he used to hear his father warn him about a cold heart. Even the preachers at church preach about the dangers of a cold heart. But, said the ice hermit, I really don't care, and I have nothing to share, so get out of my hair. I love my icy domain. I hope I can always remain. Go away, you great big pain. Well, Christian thought about how unkind and cold-hearted this little creature had become, and how it must have grieved Alpha to have to send him away to Glacier Planet. The sad part to the story is that the hermit almost seemed happy in his terrible condition. Well, Christian wondered how this poor creature developed into this cold-hearted little monster when the hermit spoke up again. And no one will be able to make fun of me again because I live in this big world all by myself. So that was it, thought Christian. He was just a lowly little creature who did not know how to make friends and could not take a little joking around, so he became bitter and cold and uncaring about others. He wanted to be by himself, and so Alpha put him on the Glacier Planet to be by himself. Christian responded with a suggestion to Iceberg Hermit. If you want to be friends, I won't pick on you. I won't pick on your cold heart or even how tall you are. Anyway, I'm just a 9-year-old boy and we're about the same height. There are 2 seats in the Eagle, and if you want to go to Paradisia with me, then let's go together. Although many would have jumped at the chance of this idea, the Iceberg Hermit did not have to think twice. Thank you, but no. Now go, go, go away from me. Leave me alone, and I will leave you alone. And so, with great sorrow, our brave space pilot hiked through the ice and snow and boarded the Eagle once again. After he activated the automatic pilot liftoff system, the Eagle roared into action and lifted Christian on to his next adventure, the next stop of Oceania. Thank you for joining. This is part 4 of our journey to Paradisia, the little space cowboy, 9-year-old boy in outer space. This is copyrighted material. If you would like an emailable copy, please notify me at either one of 2 email addresses, moses43@juno.com or sidstewart57@gmail.com, and I'll tell you how that could be arranged. Thank you for joining us, and please share these videos if they seem interesting and encouraging to you. Please share them with other children and boys and girls. God bless. Bye.